So welcome. Uh, this is a part of analytical reasoning, and today we are going to take a new topic: puzzles. Right? Puzzles based on tables or grids. So puzzles are usually set-based questions, which means you are given some data, and based on that, you will be solving all the questions. That means you'll solve the puzzle, and based on all the information that you have derived from that, you will be answering a set of 3 to 5 questions. So what we are going to do is we are going to see a basic fundamental of how to use tables or grids to solve this kind of puzzle, and then we will take a lot of examples to understand the different types of puzzles which are asked. So Siddhant is asking me whether it's a new topic. It's a fresh topic, right? It is the overall name puzzles the same, but it's a totally different type. So we are studying this particular type of puzzles fresh. So what are meant by grid-based puzzles? Let us understand what are meant by grid-based puzzles. So in grid-based puzzles, typically what happens is that you are given a set of 2 or more different items. So when I say 2 or more different items, it could be that one is a group of boys and the second is a group of girls, or it could be a group of men and a group of cities, or it could be a group of students and a group of different schools, right? What you have to do is you have to compare one with the other, and you have to sort, okay, who belongs, who's associated with whom. So for example, if I say that, let us say there are 3 boys, A, B and C, right? These are the 3 boys and they belong to 3 different schools. So let us say the 3 different schools in which they study are X, Y and Z. So now we know that there are 3 boys, 3 schools. So from the data itself, we can say that a boy cannot study in more than one school, right? Normally, we won't have boys studying in more than one school. One boy cannot study in 2 schools, right? So one boy, one school. And because 3 boys and all different schools, we also get that each school will be containing only one of the 3 boys, because the nature of this puzzle is that. Of course, sometimes you may have a puzzle in which one person in one group can be associated with more than one item in the other. We will also take a look at those puzzles. But for the time being, let's assume that this is a one-to-one correspondence between them. Means one boy in one school containing only one boy. So to solve this kind of puzzles, what exactly do? We construct a basic table, right? There are 3 items in the first group, 3 items in the second group. So a 3 by 3 table would be appropriate in this case. So let us say we put A, B, and C as the 3 particular boys, and we put X, Y, and Z as the 3 schools. So we create a table where the rows indicate the individual boys and the columns indicate the individual schools. Now, based on the clues that we get, we will fill in this table. Let's see how to do that. Now, suppose it says the first clue which is given to us, it says that A studies in school Y. So, what I do in row A under column Y, I put a tick. And because I know that A can study only in one school, the moment I put a tick in the cell corresponding to both A and Y, I cross out AX and I cross out AZ, because I know if A studies in Y, then A cannot be studying in any of the other. Similarly, I also know that Y contains only one boy, and I know Y contains A. So Y cannot contain B, Y cannot contain C, right? Now, supposing the second clue says that B does not study in Z, right? Now, supposing it says that B does not study in Z, so I cross out B and Z. Now, I actually don't need any more clues. I can complete the table here. How? See, if B does not study in Y or Z, then the only possibility for B is X. And the moment I put B in X, the entire thing has to be crossed out, because B, X is already completed with B. So C is crossed out, which means C can only study in Z. So using just these 2 clues, and because I know that one person, one school, one school, one person, I can complete this entire table, and any question which has to be asked in this particular set can easily be answered. Who studies in which is very simple. A studies in Y, B studies in X, and C studies in Z. Now, one thing you have to be very careful when such questions are given, don't assume that if it is given that ABC study in XYZ, then automatically A means X, B means Y, and C means Z. No, unless it is given that they are correspondingly studying, that it is specifically given that they are studying in that order, you cannot assume that the first name in the first group is automatically associated with the first name in the second group. Did everybody understand this first basic example of how a table is created? Now you can also create the table where you put ABC on top and XYZ on the side. It does not matter. It will be the same table. Did everybody understand this first basic example? Everybody got this first basic example? I hope everybody did. Okay. So now, supposing in the same example of A, B, C and X, Y, Z, I am told that A, B, and C are three boys, right? Let us say the three schools that they're studying in is X, Y, and Z, and they are also belonging to three different cities. Let us say P, Q, and R, right? Now there are three different things to be matched. So in this case, what do? I can make a table where I say A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z. I arrange them in the same manner as before, like we saw in the previous example. How do I adjust PQR? So what I can do is I can put P, Q, and R on the other side. So I create a two-sided table, right? A, B, C is the common characteristic, which is boy. A boy studies in a particular school and a boy lives in a particular city. So I can make this arrangement where I'm going to adjust the boys and the schools on one side, and I'm going to adjust the boy and the city on other side. Now, supposing based on the clues, I'm able to put the tick marks of the table something like this. And just for the sake of assumption, let's assume that I got the clues where I was able to complete the table like this. Now, can you tell me school X is in which city? Is it possible to tell school X is in which city? So it is straightforward. We take a look at X. So X is the school where B studies, right? And B lives in P city. That means the school X has to be in P city, correct? Which school is in city Q? PQR left right doesn't make a difference. So like I said, if you put PQR like this, it doesn't make a difference, won't make any difference to the table. And literally you can put, let us say you can put the three cities PQR here, you can put the three boys ABC here, you can put the three schools XYZ here. The tick marks will change, but the answer will remain constant. The answers will not change, right? Okay, so my question was, Q is in which city, or Z is, so Q is associated with C and C is associated with Z, right? So in case there are two, we can make a simple table. In case there are three elements, we can make a two-sided table. Now, more than three elements wale questions generally exams mein nahi puchenge because it becomes too tough, too complicated. But in case once in a while you come across such a problem, we will see how to solve them. But the only types of tables which are generally asked in exams are either two entity tables or three entity tables. Are we together on this so far? Is everybody with me so far? Okay. Now, in these type of questions, the one thing which we saw and which is very important is when I put A, B, and C, and let's say X, Y, and Z, and when we were putting in the ticks in the table, it is very important to remember that if we understand that one entity of the first group can only be associated with one entity of the second group, then the moment you put a tick anywhere, remember the other cells in the row and the other cells in the column must be automatically ticked out. सिर्फ टिक डालोगे और क्रॉस अगर भूल जाओगे तो टेबल बड़ा खाली खाली सा रहेगा एंड कंफ्यूजन बहुत हो जाएगा. So when you know for sure that there is a one-to-one relationship between the entities, the moment you put a tick in any one of the cells, उस टिक वाले रो को भी क्रॉस आउट कर दो एंड कॉलम को भी क्रॉस आउट कर दो. So automatically the remaining portions of the table can be filled in. But this is only when it is a one-to-one correspondence, which means one element of one group is associated with only one element of the other group. Now, supposing it is given that the three boys, let us say A, B, and C, study subjects, let us say maths, science, English, and history. Now, as you can see, there are three boys but four subjects, which means it is possible that one person is studying more than one subject and one subject is studied by more than one boy. So, in that case, the table will remain the same. Let us say ABC, maths, science, English, and history, right? But the only difference when creating this table is that whenever the clue gives you how to fill in a tick, you will not cross out the others because we do not know whether more than one entity is there or not. So here, for example, if it says A is good at maths and English, so A is good at maths and English, तो यहाँ पे ऑटोमेटिकली साइंस हिंदी को क्रॉस आउट मत करो, मैथ्स में बाकी नीचे, इंग्लिश के नीचे बाकी को क्रॉस मत करो, बिकॉज इट इज पॉसिबल दैट अदर्स में ऑल्सो फिल इन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल दे कुड से that B is good at science and English. So B science and B भी English में अच्छा है. So where you know that one element of one side can be associated with more than one element on the other side, there you will only put the ticks, you will not put the cross. Now, whether to put it or not, how do you know? By reading the question. By reading the question itself, you will automatically come to know whether it is a one-to-one relationship or whether one-to-many is possible. Did everybody understand this basic theory? Did everybody understand this basic theory? Yes. Chalo. Then let's take a look at an example. Now, it is given that on a shelf are placed 6 volumes side by side labeled A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, B, C, E, F have green covers while others have yellow. A, D, B are new volumes, rest are old. A, C, B are law reports while rest are medical extracts. The question here is, which 2 volumes are old medical extracts with green covers? Now, obviously, you can answer this question even without making any table. If you are able to do that, very good. But if not, then I will show you how to make a table and solve this. Of course, this question can be solved even without a table just by looking at the data which is given. I'll give about a minute. Let's see. Harsha, check karo. Baki others are getting it. Yes. It's a pretty simple example actually, this one. Harsha, abhi bhi nahi. Check karo. Khwahish, no. Others are getting it. Jay, no. Most of you are getting it. Very good. Chalo, let's take a look at it. क्या करना है? कुछ नहीं. Table सा बना देना है. So I have how many books? 6 books. What are my books? A, B, C, D, E, and F. So my books are A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, what are the types? Now, it is given that they have different colors, old or new. That is age and the type, law ya medical. So B, C, E, F have green. So B, C, E, and F have green. So the remaining, it is given they have yellow. A, D, B are new. So A, D, and B are new. That means the rest are old. And A, C, B are law. A, C, and B are law. The rest are medical extracts. So the remaining are medical extract. So what am I looking at? So I need an old medical text with green cover. So GOM जिसकी प्रॉपर्टी होगी वो मेरा आंसर होगा. So यहाँ पे Y नहीं, G ये N नहीं, Ye nahi. So GOM and GOM. So my final answer, the two books which I'm looking at are E and F. Did everybody get this one? E and F are the two books which satisfy all the properties which are given to us. Did everybody get this one? बड़ा सिंपल एग्जांपल है. See, अगर ऐसे बिना टेबल के करने जाओगे तो हो सकता है कि लोचा मारो, right? But if you make a table and then try to identify, then it becomes a very simple thing. Okay? Chalo. Let's do another question then. Now, this is pretty interesting. Three persons, A, B, and C, they wore shirts of black, blue, and orange colors, not necessarily in that order. And pant of green, yellow, and orange, not necessarily in that order. It is also given that no person wore a pant and shirt of the same color. Now, further, it is also given that A did not wear a shirt of black color, B did not wear a shirt of blue color, C did not wear a shirt of orange color. Then it says A did not wear a pant of green color and B wore pant of orange color. So based on all this information, you have to tell me which person is wearing which colored shirt and which colored pant. I'll give you about a minute and then I'll show you how to solve this example. Take a look at the clues very carefully. You have to associate each person with the color of the shirt and the color of the pant. Did anybody get it so far? I'm getting different answers. Different answers, different answers. Okay, now I'm getting a few right answers. Chalo. Now, how do we do this? So it is given that there are three persons and you have to associate each person with both the color of the shirt and the color of the pant. So let's make a table like this. So the common entity is the person. So I put A, B, and C here, right? The three different colors of the shirts I'm going to take. So that is black, blue, and orange. And it is also given that there are pants of three different colors. So the pants of three different colors, I'm going to put green, yellow, and orange as it is given, right? So basic table yahan tak ban gaya. Now guys, for those who are struggling with this question, for those who did not understand कि आगे कैसे बढ़े, pay very close attention now. Pay very close attention what I'm going to do. So पहला clue है कि A did not wear a shirt of black color. So A and shirt में जाना है. So A did not wear a shirt of black color. So A black का मैं क्रॉस कर दूंगा. लेकिन क्रॉस की मदद से मैं टिक नहीं कर सकता बिकॉज ए कुड बी ब्लू और ए कुड बी ऑरेंज. राइट? सो क्रॉस करके आप टिक नहीं कर सकते. सो ए एंड ब्लैक को सिर्फ क्रॉस आउट करना है. नाउ व्हाट डज माय सेकंड क्लू से? माय सेकंड क्लू सेज दैट बी डिड नॉट वेयर अ शर्ट ऑफ ब्लू कलर. सो बी एंड ब्लू का भी कनेक्शन क्रॉस कर दो कि बी डिड नॉट वेयर अ शर्ट ऑफ ब्लू कलर. सो बी या तो ब्लैक है या ऑरेंज है, अभी तो मैं नहीं बोल सकता, उसको भी ऐसे का ऐसा रखेंगे. Now we will go on to the third clue. It says C did not wear a shirt of orange color. तो C and shirt color orange को मैं क्रॉस आउट कर दूंगा. So C did not wear a shirt of orange color. So पहले तीन क्लूज में मैंने सिर्फ क्रॉस आउट किया है, मैं आगे अभी देखता हूं. Now it says A did not wear a pant of green color. So A did not wear a pant of green color. So A and green pant को मैं क्रॉस करूंगा. अभी तक कोई भी मैं टिक प्लेस नहीं कर पाया हूं. Now my fifth clue says B wore pant of orange colors. So the moment I know B wore a pant of orange colors, B and orange pant का मैंने टिक कर दिया. So अब बाकी ऑरेंज पैंट नहीं पहन सकते एंड बी दूसरे कलर का पैंट नहीं पहनेगा. सो उतना तो मैंने क्रॉस आउट कर दिया, राइट? अब लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे ही ध्यान रखो, ग्रीन के नीचे ऑलरेडी दो क्रॉस आ चुके हैं. सो यहां पे एक ही टिक पॉसिबल है. सो जैसे ही मैंने टिक किया उस पूरे रो को वापस मैं क्रॉस आउट करूंगा. एंड सिमिलरली येलो के नीचे अभी एक ही टिक पॉसिबल है. तो मुझे तीनों पैंट्स का कनेक्शन मिल गया ए बी के साथ. बट आगे क्या करें? सो नाउ इनिशियल क्लू को देखो. इट सेज नो पर्सन वोर अ पैंट एंड शर्ट ऑफ द सेम कलर एंड ओनली सेम कलर पैंट शर्ट इज ऑरेंज. तो जिसने भी ऑरेंज पैंट पहना है वो ऑरेंज शर्ट नहीं पहन सकता. सो इफ बी हैज वोन ऑरेंज कलर पैंट, तो बी ऑरेंज कलर का शर्ट नहीं पहन सकता. तो ऑरेंज कलर का शर्ट के लिए एक ही ऑप्शन बचता है, दैट इज ए. सो ए के लिए ये कैंसिल आउट कर दो. तो ब्लू के नीचे एक ही ऑप्शन बचता है, इसके सामने ये कैंसिल कर दो, तो अभी बी ब्लैक मिल जाता है. सो नाउ वी कैन से दैट ए wore a yellow pant and orange shirt. B wore orange pants and black shirts. C wore green pants and blue shirts. Now Swayam is asking in exam should we make a table like this? Swayam, मैं बार बार सारे इसमें कहूंगा ये सारे मेथड्स हैं. मेथड का एंट्रेंस एग्जाम के अंदर मार्क्स नहीं होता, राइट? आप कोई भी मेथड यूज करके सॉल्व करो, आपको रफ वर्क नहीं दिखाना होता. लेकिन ऐसा टेबल बना के अगर आप सॉल्व करते हो तो इट्स एन इजी मेथड ऑफ सॉल्विंग. इट इज पॉसिबल दैट यू कैन सॉल्व इट विदाउट द टेबल. अगर टेबल के बिना आपको सॉल्व करना आता है तो वेरी गुड, करो, क्योंकि आपको मेथड दिखाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं होती. I'm only showing you an easy and very very simple method of how to solve such questions. But कोई भी method compulsory नहीं होता एग्जाम के अंदर. एंट्रेंस एग्जाम्स में मेथड के मार्क्स नहीं होते, आपको सिर्फ फाइनल करेक्ट आंसर बताना होता है. Did everybody understand this question? Right? Did you understand how we associated all the three people with the color of their pants and the color of their shirts? I hope everybody got this one. ठीक है, चलो. Then moving on, next question. Now again, it says P, Q, R, S, T, and U. 6 people. They play basketball, cricket, football, hockey, wrestling, and tennis. 6 people, 6 sports. Okay. Now it says U, heavier than Q, lighter than T, plays tennis. It says the heaviest among them wrestles. P, who is between Q and R in decreasing order of weight, plays cricket. Q and R are into neither wrestling nor hockey. The lightest among them plays hockey. So here what you have to do, you have to decide which person is playing which game, associate all the people with the games, and also arrange them according to their weight, right? या तो decreasing order में करो या increasing order में करो, either way is okay. But you have to determine which person plays which sport and what is their arrangement in order of weight. I'll give you about a minute to solve this, then show you how this can be done. Qaish asks, is this one-to-one relation? Qaish, look at the clues given. Is one person associated with more than one sport in the clues? Or is there any relation given where one sport is played by more than one person? The clues will tell you whether it has to be taken as one-to-one or not. आपको एग्जाम में सामने से कोई नहीं बताएगा ये one-to-one है या नहीं है. ये आपको clues पढ़ के समझना पड़ेगा. Yes, Qaish. Okay. Many of you seem to have solved it. So now let me show you how this can be done. So it is given PQR, STU, 6 people, basket, cricket, football, hockey, wrestling, tennis, 6 games. So I'll simply make a table like this where I'm going to put the people P, Q, R, S, T, and U, and the sports. So that is basketball, cricket, football, hockey, wrestling, and tennis, right? 6 sports. Now, all the clues, they do not tell me that there is one person playing more than one game or one game being played more than one person, right? एक भी repetition नहीं है. So I'm going to take this as 1:1. That is, the moment I know a person is playing a game, then I'm going to remove the game for the other people and so on and so forth. So, taking a look at the clues, the first one says U who is heavier than Q. So, U who is heavier than Q and is lighter than T. So, that means U is lighter than T. So, U heavier than Q, lighter than T, plays tennis. So, U plays tennis. Now, guys, very important that when reading these clues, you get कि कौन किसको refer कर रहा है. So, tennis जो play करता है, who is playing tennis? So it is you that is playing tennis, right? So the moment I know you is playing tennis, I remove tennis for all the other people and I remove the other sports for you, right? So you and tennis associate ho gaya. Now it says the heaviest among them wrestles. तो जो wrestling करता है वो सबसे heavy है. That means any person जिससे कोई ज्यादा भारी होगा वो wrestling नहीं कर सकता. तो U से तो T भारी है तो U wrestling नहीं कर सकता, which is already eliminated. Q भी wrestling नहीं कर सकता. क्यों? क्योंकि Q से भी लोग भारी हैं और सबसे जो भारी है, सबसे heavy जो है वही wrestling करेगा. Q is not the heaviest, so Q cannot be wrestling, right? Now, the third clue says P who is between Q and R in decreasing order of weight. So P who is between Q and R in decreasing order of weight plays cricket. So the moment I know P plays cricket, क्रिकेट के लिए बाकी के लोग एलिमिनेट कर दो, पी के लिए बाकी के गेम्स एलिमिनेट कर दो, राइट? ऑल्सो अब हैवीएस्ट कौन कौन नहीं है? सो आर भी हैवीएस्ट नहीं है बिकॉज आर तो पी से भी लाइट है. सो आर ऑल्सो कैन नॉट बी रेसलिंग. ठीक है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्लू सेज क्यू एंड आर इनटू नाइदर रेसलिंग नॉर हॉकी. सो रेसलिंग तो ऑलरेडी क्यू एंड आर के लिए एलिमिनेटेड है, हॉकी भी दोनों के लिए एलिमिनेट कर दो. एंड द लास्ट क्लू सेज द लाइटेस्ट अमंग देम प्लेज हॉकी. तो हॉकी जो प्ले करता है अगर वो लाइटेस्ट है तो एस या टी में से कोई एक हॉकी खेलेगा, लेकिन टी डेफिनेटली लाइटेस्ट नहीं है. दैट मीन्स द ओनली पर्सन हु कैन बी प्लेइंग हॉकी हैज टू बी एस, which also means S is the lightest and S does not play any other sport. अब ये देखो हेवीएस्ट में सिर्फ टी ही पॉसिबल है, राइट? सो ये एलिमिनेट कर दिया एंड नीचे के अरेंजमेंट से भी पता चल जाता है कि टी ही हेवीएस्ट है. सो वी हैव अ कॉन्फर्मेशन दैट टी इज डेफिनेटली द हेवीएस्ट. द ओनली थिंग विच वी डोंट नो is what sport is played by Q and what sport is played by R. So Q could be either basketball or football. Similarly, R can be either football or basketball. इन दोनों में से कोई एक बास्केटबॉल खेलता है, कोई एक फुटबॉल खेलता है, लेकिन कौन कौन सा गेम खेलता है दैट वी डू नॉट नो, राइट? सो दैट रिमेन्स अनफुलफिल्ड, टेबल को हम कंप्लीट नहीं कर सकते. सो अगर क्वेश्चन आएगा कि व्हाट गेम डज क्यू प्ले, तो एक तो यह ऑप्शन होगा आपके पास आइधर बास्केटबॉल फुटबॉल, तो वो टिक कर दो. आइधर बास्केटबॉल और फुटबॉल वाला अगर ऑप्शन ना हो तो आपके पास ऑप्शन होगा कैन नॉट बी डिटरमाइंड, बिकॉज यू डू नॉट नो इन दोनों में से परफेक्ट आंसर कौन सा है. सो दिस इज द फाइनल वर्जन ऑफ दिस क्विज. सो the heaviest is T, followed by U, followed by Q, followed by P, followed by R, and the lightest S. And the individual sports, P plays cricket, Q is either basketball or football, R is either basketball or football, S plays hockey, T plays weightlifting, wrestling, sorry, and U is into tennis. Did everybody understand this one? So don't worry if the table does not completely get filled in. Sometimes it is possible that they have not given you enough clues to fill in the table. So if the table does not get filled in, it's okay. Some of the questions may have an answer, cannot be determined. Okay. Prasanna is asking, what is the difference between data inadequate and cannot be determined? They are not different. Cannot be determined means आप आंसर नहीं ढूंढ सकते. Data inadequate means आपके पास इतना information नहीं है कि आप आंसर ढूंढ सकते हो. So technically both can be the same thing. For you cannot determine means you don't have enough data to give the answer. So technically they are the same thing. The difference is between none of these and cannot be determined. Let us say I'm asking, okay, who is the in Ramayana who kidnapped Sita? And options are Ram, Hanuman and Sugriv. तो वहां पे आंसर इज नन ऑफ दीज, बिकॉज आपको पता है आंसर क्या है लेकिन वो ऑप्शंस में नहीं है. सो इफ यू नो द एग्जैक्ट आंसर बट इट इज नॉट गिवन टू यू इन द ऑप्शंस, देन यू मार्क नन ऑफ दीज. बट इफ इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू फाइंड द आंसर बिकॉज इंफॉर्मेशन ही नहीं है आपके पास, then either cannot be determined or data inadequate. Both of them mean the same thing. Prasanna, did you get that? Okay, chalo. Moving on, next question then. Now, it is given Ravi and Kunal are good in hockey and volleyball. So guys, I think it is pretty obvious kaisa hai, one on one hai ya one to many hai, you can identify. So Ravi and Kunal good in hockey and volleyball. Sachin and Ravi good at hockey and baseball. Gaurav and Kunal good in cricket and volleyball. Sachin, Gaurav and Michael are good in football and baseball. So now you have to determine which persons play which games. So I'll give you about a minute, then let's see how we do this one. Okay, are we getting it? Okay. Swayam and Anushka giving me answers. What about the others? Okay, Priyanshi also says it is done. Okay, Siddhant has also given me answers. Khushi says done. Okay, Jay, Nishka, Anmol. What about the others, guys? Okay, so let's see. One thing is pretty obvious that in this problem, one person can play more than one game. Similarly, one game can be played by more than one person. So table तो वही बनेगा. The only thing is हम cross नहीं करेंगे. So let's start. It says Ravi and Kunal are good at hockey and volleyball. So Ravi and Kunal are good at hockey and volleyball. Then Sachin and Ravi तो already है. So Sachin and Ravi are good at hockey and baseball. So Sachin and Ravi good at hockey and baseball. Then Gaurav and Kunal. Now Kunal तो already मैंने place कर दिया है. So Gaurav and Kunal are good at cricket and volleyball. So Gaurav and Kunal are good at cricket. Gaurav and Kunal are good at volleyball. Finally, Sachin, Gaurav, and Michael. Sachin and Gaurav तो already है. So Sachin, Gaurav, and Michael are good at football and baseball. So Sachin, Gaurav, and Michael are good at football, and Sachin, Gaurav, and Michael are good at baseball. So what is left? Ravi, Kunal, Sachin, and Ravi, Gaurav, and Kunal, Sachin, Gaurav, and Michael. That's it. Did we get all this? Did we get this table now? Did everybody understand? So, can you tell me which person plays the maximum number of sports? Who plays the maximum number of sports? I made baseball. Yeah, I made baseball twice. So baseball यहाँ पे आ जाएगा. इसकी जरूरत नहीं है फिर. Yeah. Did everybody get this one? And who plays the maximum number? Guys, baseball का I made baseball is already there. I don't need. So ये column मैंने merge कर दिया है इसके साथ. So the maximum sports is played by Gaurav. He plays 4. And which game is played the most? Again, baseball. 4 people play baseball. So did everybody get this one? I hope everybody got this one. Yes. Okay. Chalo. Next one. Now, similar to the previous, it says Madan and Rohit are in the same team in hockey. Parth defeated Rohit in badminton but lost to Sachin in tennis. Nitin teams with Sagar in football and with Sachin in hockey. Rohit defeated Sachin in chess. Now it says those who play cricket do not play badminton, volleyball, or tennis. Madan and Parth are in opposite teams of basketball. Nitin represents his state in cricket while Sagar does so at the district level. Boys who play chess do not play football, basketball, or volleyball. Madan and Parth together in volleyball. And boys who play football also play hockey. But before I continue, somebody has a doubt. Swayam is asking me, how did Gaurav play 4 sports? Volleyball, baseball, cricket, and football? गौरव का रो देखो. वॉलीबॉल, बेसबॉल, क्रिकेट, फुटबॉल चारों में है वो. चलो, next one. These are the clues. Let's see who gets this one quickly now. Same as the last one, but a bit advanced version. So you'll need to be careful. Are you getting it? Disha and Anushka have done it. What about the others? Okay, Anmol also says it is done. Prasanna has done it. Amanbir wants to see the previous question. This one. Manbir, I'll need to go on to the question because others are solving this one. Okay. Okay, Harsha also done. Okay, very good. What about the others, guys? Okay, chalo. Let's take a look at this one. So the table, Madan and Rohit are in the same team in hockey. So I start with Madan and Rohit. They are in the same team of hockey. So Madan and Rohit for hockey. Parth defeated Rohit in badminton. So Parth defeated Rohit in badminton, which means Parth and Rohit, both of them have to be playing badminton. Yes. But lost to Sachin in tennis. Now, this is important. Who lost? So Parth lost to Sachin in tennis. So Parth lost to Sachin in tennis. So Parth and Sachin, both of them are playing tennis. Now, Nitin teams with Sagar in football. So Nitin and Sagar, two new guys. Nitin teams with Sagar in football. So Nitin and Sagar, they are playing football. And with Sachin in hockey. So Nitin and Sachin are hockey. So Nitin and Sachin are playing hockey. Rohit defeated Sachin in chess. Now, Rohit and Sachin are already there. I introduced chess here. So, Rohit defeated Sachin in chess. So, Rohit and Sachin, both of them are playing chess. Now, it is given those who play cricket do not play badminton, volleyball, or tennis. So, I have to introduce a new game, let us say cricket. And now I also know that if you are playing cricket, then you cannot be playing badminton, you cannot be playing volleyball, and you cannot be playing tennis. Now, badminton and tennis are already there. That means there is a new game, volleyball. Now, if you are playing cricket, you cannot be playing badminton. So, what does that mean? If somebody is playing badminton, that person cannot be playing cricket. So I eliminate cricket for these two guys. Similarly, If I'm playing cricket, I cannot be playing tennis. So if I'm playing tennis, I will not be playing cricket. So I eliminate this here. Now, it says Madan and Parth are in opposite teams of basketball. So one new game introduced, basketball. So it says Madan and Parth are in opposite teams of basketball. So I introduced them here. Now it says Nitin represents state in cricket. So Nitin represents state in cricket, while Sagar does at district level. So Sagar also is playing cricket. So if you are playing cricket, then you cannot be playing badminton, you cannot be playing tennis, and you cannot be playing volleyball. So all these gets eliminated. Now it says Madan and Parth are together in the volleyball team. So Madan and Parth are together in the volleyball team. And it says if somebody is playing volleyball, they cannot be playing cricket. So this gets eliminated here. Finally, boys who play football also play hockey. So football player, if you are playing football, then you have to be playing hockey. So football player has to play hockey. Now remember guys, some of you might make a mistake कि हॉकी खेलते हैं तो फुटबॉल भी टिक करेंगे. That is not true. The thing says फुटबॉल अगर खेलते हो तो हॉकी खेलना जरूरी है, लेकिन हॉकी अगर खेलते हो तो कंपलसरी नहीं है कि आप फुटबॉल खेलो. सो जिसका फुटबॉल में ऑलरेडी टिक है सिर्फ उसी को हॉकी में भी टिक करो एंड नॉट वाइस वर्सा. सो वंस यू डू दिस, योर टेबल इज रेडी. So now you can easily answer any question based on this table. So supposing somebody asks, which is the most popular game based on the number of people playing it? Which is the most popular game based on the number of people who are playing it? Obviously, hockey. Which person plays the maximum number of sports? Which person plays the maximum number of sports? Parth, correct. Which two players have the exact same interest in sports? Which two players have the exact same interest in sports? Prasanna, Sachin nahi hai. Sachin is only in 3 sports. Parth is in 4. Take a look at the table carefully. Yes, exact same interests as Nitin and Sagar. So did everybody understand this one? Slight complicated, but table बना के बहुत easy हो जाता है. I hope everybody understood this one. Yes, no problem at all. ठीक है, चलो. Then let's take a look at yet another example. Now, a very simple one, fun to solve. It's given that there are 5 cities A, B, C, D, E, which are famous for lovely garden, fancy jewelry, educational institute, blue pottery, and scents, but not in the same order. You're also given clues. It says A and C are neither educational centers nor have gardens. B and D are not famous for jewelry or pottery. Scents and jewelry have nothing to do with A. D and E are not famous for garden and jewelry. And D is not famous for educational institutions. So now the question is, who is famous for what? Arushi, understand one thing. These Arushi is asking whether you will have enough time to make a table. Arushi, ऐसे questions में आपको एक question नहीं होता है. You are given at least 4 to 5 questions based on the single set. So even if you take time to make the table, you have to answer at least 4 to 5 questions. And answering once the table is complete, you will be very quickly answering the questions. So you will have more than enough time for such things to make the table. And tell me, can you do it faster without a table, Arushi? Do you think you can do this faster without a table? Then एंड डोंट वरी, 4 to 5 क्वेश्चंस टेबल बना के लड्डू है, दीज आर लड्डू क्वेश्चंस, फास्टेस्ट यू कैन सॉल्व। सी रेगुलर एक क्वेश्चन अगर आंसर करना हो तो इट्स अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम, बट टेबल बन जाने के बाद अगर 5 क्वेश्चन एक साथ आंसर कर सकते हो, देन इट्स एक्चुअली वेरी इजी, राइट? सो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, you'll get lot of things. Okay, chalo, let's take a look at how this particular thing is done, right? It is given that there are 5 different cities. So my cities A, B, C, D, and E. And what are they famous for? They were famous for lovely gardens, fancy jewelry, educational institutions, blue pottery, and scents, right? Not in the same order. Now, A and C are neither educational institutions nor do they have gardens, right? So A and C say educational institution and garden ko uda do. B and D are not famous for jewelry. B and E are not famous for jewelry or pottery. So B and E में से jewelry and pottery दोनों को उड़ा दो. Scents and jewelry have nothing to do with A. So scents and jewelry have nothing to do with A. D and E are not famous for garden and jewelry. So D and E are not famous for garden and jewelry. D is not famous for educational institutions. D is not famous for educational institutions. चलो अभी देखते हैं. A के लिए सिर्फ ब्लू पॉटरी पॉसिबल है, बाकी का उड़ा दिया, राइट? बचा क्या? D सिर्फ सेंट्स में पॉसिबल है, तो बाकी का क्रॉस आउट हो गया. E के लिए सिर्फ एजुकेशन पॉसिबल है, क्रॉस आउट हो गया. B के लिए सिर्फ गार्डन है, C के लिए सिर्फ फैंसी ज्वेलरी है. सिंपल. So A is blue pottery, B is lovely gardens, C is fancy jewelry, D is scents, and E is educational institution. I think this was also pretty simple. I hope everybody understood ये table कैसे बनाया हमने. Are we together on this? एक बार फिर से यश, ओके, फटाफट मैं करने वाला हूं. आई जस्ट इरेज द इंक. 5 चीजें हैं, A, B, C, D and E. First one, garden, jewelry, educational institutions, blue pottery and scents. टेबल ये समझ में आ गया यश? ये टेबल का बेस है. पहले मैंने टेबल बना दिया, अब एक एक क्लूज के हिसाब से फिट करते जाएंगे. ए एंड सी हैव नाइदर एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन नॉर गार्डन. तो ए एंड सी में से एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन को क्रॉस कर दो और गार्डन को क्रॉस कर दो. ये समझ में आया यश? डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस फर्स्ट क्लू को कैसे मैंने फिट किया टेबल के अंदर? ठीक है. अब सेकंड, बी एंड ई नॉट ज्वेलरी. सो बी एंड ई नॉट ज्वेलरी और पॉटरी. सो बी एंड ई को पॉटरी भी हटा दो. सिमिलरली सेंट्स एंड ज्वेलरी नथिंग टू डू विथ ए, तो सेंट एंड ज्वेलरी दोनों को ए से हटा दो. तो डी एंड ई नॉट गार्डन एंड ज्वेलरी. सो डी एंड ई का गार्डन नहीं है, ज्वेलरी नहीं है. एंड डी इज नॉट एजुकेशन. डी इज नॉट एजुकेशन. यहां तक टेबल समझ में आ गया? यहां तक टेबल समझ में आ गया यश? चलो अब देखो, ए के अंदर सिर्फ पॉटरी पॉसिबल है, तो जैसे ही ये रो तो ऑलरेडी एलिमिनेटेड है, कॉलम को भी मैं एलिमिनेट कर देता हूं. सिमिलरली गार्डन के नीचे देखो 4 उड़ चुके हैं, तो बी का तो गार्डन नहीं हो सकता है. सो बी के लिए भी बाकी का पूरा एलिमिनेट कर दो. ज्वेलरी के नीचे देखो सिर्फ सी खाली है. एजुकेशन के नीचे देखो सिर्फ ई खाली है. अब सी का ज्वेलरी हो गया है तो ये खत्म, ई का एजुकेशन हो गया है तो ये खत्म, तो सेंट के नीचे सिर्फ डी बाकी रह गया. हो गया टेबल कंप्लीट. समझ में आया? अंडरस्टूड दिस टेबल? गॉट इट? वेरी गुड. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. 4 young men, Raj, Sundar, Tarun, Upal, are married to Rekha, Sunita, Tara, and Uma. and the couples live in Rampur, Sanchi, Tirupati and Udhampur. तो 4 men, 4 women and 4 cities आपको दिए गए हैं. Now, the first letter of the names of the men, their wives and cities do not match, right? That means Raj cannot be married to Rekha. Raj or Rekha cannot be living in Rampur, right? Same name के match नहीं करेंगे. It is also given that Sunita is not Raj's wife. Sundar does not live in Rampur or Udhampur and is not Rekha's husband. Uppal and Tara do not live in Sanchi. Now, itne clues ke basis pe, you have to identify all the 4 couples and which city they live in. So I'll give you about a minute. Let's see. Can you find out who are the couples and which city do each couple live in? Yes. Did we get it? Waiting, guys. Okay, Anushka and Anmol have done it. Okay, Disha also is done. Okay, guys. Now let's see how this is done. So here we have to connect each person with the name of the spouse and the city. So what I'm going to do is, मैं usually बीच में vertically common चीज को रखता हूँ और horizontal बताता हूँ. I'm going to do it the other way. इस बार horizontal पे मैं common को रख के verticals में different को रखता हूँ. So I know that there are 4 men married to 4 women. So the 4 women I know are Rekha, Sunita, Tara, and Uma, and they are married to the 4 men. Let us say Raj, Sundar, Tarun, and Uppal. and I also know that the cities that they live in are Rampur, Sanchi, Tirupati, and Udhampur, right? So इसी टेबल को I could have made it the other way, इसको रोटेट करके भी ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं. I'm simply going to draw it this way. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, आंसर तो सेम ही आएगा. चलो, नाउ कैसे करेंगे? It says the first letter of the name of the men, wife, and cities do not match. That means Raj and Rekha cannot be a couple. Sundar and Sunita cannot be a couple. Tarun and Tara cannot be a couple. Uma and Uppal cannot be a couple. Similarly, Raj cannot live in Rampur or Sundar in Sanchi, Tarun in Tirupati or Uppal in Udhampur. ये तो हमने क्रॉस आउट कर दिया, राइट? स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड. नाउ आगे जाके इट सेज सुनीता इज नॉट राज वाइफ. तो जो सुनीता है एंड राज है, दैट कैन नॉट बी अ कपल. सुनीता इज नॉट राज वाइफ. नेक्स्ट इट सेज सुंदर डज नॉट लिव इन रामपुर और उधमपुर. सो सुंदर डज नॉट लिव इन रामपुर, सुंदर डज नॉट लिव इन उधमपुर, एंड सुंदर इज ऑल्सो नॉट रेखास हस्बैंड. तो अब इसी से हम क्या कर सकते हैं? सुंदर के लिए तो एक ही जगह बाकी है एंड दैट इज तिरुपति, राइट? सुंदर कैन ओनली लिव इन तिरुपति. अगर अब सुंदर तिरुपति में रहता है तो सुंदर तारा का पति नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि अगर सुंदर तारा का पति है तो तारा भी सुंदर के साथ तिरुपति आ जाएगी. सो तारा कैन नॉट बी इन तिरुपति, सो सुंदर कैन नॉट बी मैरिड टू तारा. सो सुंदर एंड उमा इज द कपल, वो पता चल जाता है. आर वी टुगेदर ऑन दिस? समझ में आया सुंदर एंड उमा को मैंने कैसे एक साथ कनेक्ट किया? बिकॉज सुंदर कैनॉट लिव इन सुंदर. ये पोर्शन समझ में आया? इतना समझ में आया गाइस? तो मैं आगे बढ़ूं. Okay. Now, next, Uppal and Tara do not live in Sanchi. So Uppal does not live in Sanchi. So Uppal has to live here. तो एक तो ये मेरा कनेक्शन हो गया. एंड Uppal and Tara do not live in Sanchi. तो तारा भी सांची में नहीं रहती. ओके, तारा अगर सांची में नहीं रहती तो तारा कहां पे रहती है? आई डोंट नो, बट आई नो फॉर श्योर दैट दिस इज द कनेक्शन हियर, राइट? So if Tara does not live in Sanchi, then Raj also cannot live in Sanchi. So Raj has to live in Udhampur. And once this is done, सांची के अंदर सिर्फ एक ही पॉसिबल है, तो ये मेरा कनेक्शन रह गया. So if Tarun is living in Sanchi, then Tarun cannot be married to Sunita. So ये connection, cross connection, and my table is done. Did everybody get this one? Straightforward. Did everybody understand how this complete table was done? प्रियांशी समझ में नहीं आया? चलो वापस करते हैं. Let's do this table once again for those who did not get this one. So I have 4 men, right? The 4 men I know are Raj, Sundar, Tarun, and Uppal. They are married to 4 girls, right? So the girls are Rekha, Sunita, Tara, and Uma, and they live in the cities. So my cities are Rampur, Sanchi, Tirupati, and Udhampur, right? ये मेरा बेसिक टेबल आ गया. प्रियांशी, अनुष्का, स्टार्टिंग समझ में आया? ये बेसिक टेबल मैंने चालू किया बनाना. चलो, now the first clue says the first letter of the name of the men, wife, and city does not match. So Raj and Rekha, Sundar and Sunita, Tarun and Tara, Uppal and Uma नहीं हो सकता. यू के साथ यू नहीं हो सकता. उसी लॉजिक से राज एंड रामपुर, सुंदर एंड सांची, तरुण एंड तिरुपति, उप्पल एंड उधमपुर नहीं हो सकता. तो ये तो मैंने क्रॉस आउट कर दिया. ये समझ में आया? आई क्रॉस्ड आउट दीज थिंग्स बिकॉज द नेम, द लेटर्स कैनॉट मैच. ठीक है, चलो अब सेकेंड क्लू देखते हैं. सुनीता इज नॉट राज इज वाइफ. तो राज एंड सुनीता का कनेक्शन नहीं हो सकता. इट इज गिवन टू मी. सो सुनीता एंड राज को मैंने क्रॉस आउट कर दिया. नेक्स्ट, सुंदर डज नॉट लिव इन रामपुर और उधमपुर. तो सुंदर डज नॉट लिव इन रामपुर और उधमपुर. एंड सुंदर इज नॉट रेखास हस्बैंड. सुंदर इज नॉट रेखास हस्बैंड. ये तो डेटा दिया गया है. समझ में आया? ये तो मैंने डेटा के हिसाब से किया। अब सुंदर का देखो, सुंदर अगर रामपुर, सांची या उधमपुर में नहीं रह सकता तो सुंदर को तो एक ही सिटी बाकी रहता है, तिरुपति। सो सुंदर का तिरुपति फिक्स हो गया। सो एलिमिनेट तिरुपति फॉर द अदर्स। सुंदर एंड तिरुपति का कनेक्शन बन गया, समझ में आया? ओके अब सुंदर अगर तिरुपति में रहता है तो सुंदर कैन नॉट बी मैरिड टू तारा, बिकॉज हस्बैंड वाइफ तो साथ में रहेंगे। तो सुंदर अगर तिरुपति में रहता है तो सुंदर के साथ तारा तिरुपति में नहीं रह सकती। सो तारा एंड सुंदर कैन नॉट बी मैरिड। सो दैट मीन्स सुंदर हैज टू बी मैरिड टू उमा। समझ में आया? सुंदर हैज टू बी मैरिड टू उमा। सो उमा का बाकी सबके साथ कनेक्शन कट कर दो। यस अभी Uppal and Tara do not live in Sanchi. So Uppal सांची में नहीं रहता। सो Uppal रामपुर में रहेगा। सो रामपुर एंड तरुण का कनेक्शन कट हो गया। हम साथ साथ हैं। एंड ये देखो, तारा एंड इस राज के लिए उमा, सुनीता, रेखा तीनों ही क्रॉस हैं। सो राज को तो बाय डिफॉल्ट तारा के साथ मैरिड होना चाहिए। सो दिस कनेक्शन गेट्स एस्टैब्लिश्ड, Raj and Tara. And it is given that Uppal and Tara, so Tara also does not live in Sanchi. So Tara अगर राज के साथ मैरिड है और तारा सांची में नहीं रहती तो राज भी सांची में नहीं रह सकता। That means राज has to live in उधमपुर। सो उधमपुर का रो निकल गया तो तरुण के लिए सिर्फ सांची बचा। ये कनेक्शंस मिल गए। Now Tarun lives in Sanchi, so Tarun cannot be married to Sunita because Sunita Sanchi में नहीं रह सकती। So Tarun is married to Rekha. That means Sunita and Uppal are married. हो गया मेरा टेबल कंप्लीट। प्रियांशी, अनुष्का, ख्वाहिश, समझ में आया? ख्वाहिश का क्वेश्चन क्या है? व्हाई नॉट रेखा? किसका रेखा का? ख्वाहिश गॉट इट? ठीक है, आई होप एवरीबॉडी गॉट दिस वन। प्रियांशी, तारा और राज का क्या समझ में नहीं आया? राज के लिए तो सिर्फ और सिर्फ सी राज, उमा, सुनीता एंड रेखा के सामने तो क्रॉस हो गया था। सो द ओनली पर्सन पॉसिबल वाज तारा। सी इट इज गिवन दैट सुनीता तो राज की पत्नी नहीं है, एंड ये भी दिया है कि राज एंड रेखा तो नहीं हो सकते। यू गेट इट? गॉट इट? हाँ पर्णिका, हाँ ऑब्वियसली सी मैं आपको एमसीक्यूज के फॉर्मेट में नहीं दे रहा हूं, बट एग्जाम में तो आपको ऑप्शन, आपको क्वेश्चन क्या होगा? हु इज मैरिड टू राज? और फिर 4 ऑप्शंस होंगे और उसमें से आपको सिलेक्ट करना है। अगर आप एक्सरसाइज खोल के बुक में देखोगे तो आपको फॉर्मेट, मैं तो सिर्फ ये पजल सॉल्व हो गया तो इसके बेसिस पे कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो आप दे सकते हो ना। फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई आस्क विच कपल लिव्स इन सांची, कैन यू टेल मी विच कपल लिव्स इन सांची? So I can ask you any question on this. Which couple lives in Sanchi? Simple. Sanchi के सामने तरुण है, तरुण के सामने रेखा है. So Sanchi में तरुण and रेखा लेते हैं. That's it. So I can ask you 5 questions based on this table. You'll hardly take a second to solve it. The main part is only solving this table. उसके बेसिस पे क्वेश्चन आंसर्स तो बहुत ही सिंपल है. टेबल बनाना आना चाहिए. टेबल बन गया, क्वेश्चन आंसर तो झटके में आ जाएगा. Did everybody understand this table? Did everybody understand how to make this table so far? Guys, chalo. Let's take a look at next one then. Now, table based, but slightly different format. In some questions, you are asked to prepare a schedule of things. Like for example, take a look at this question. It says that there are 6 scientists, A, B, C, D, E, F, and they have to demonstrate subject, chemistry, zoology, botany, physics, geology, maths. One scientist will demonstrate only on one day. Demonstration starts from Monday, ends on Sunday, and there is a day of rest. Right. And the clues are given that chemistry will immediately follow geology. यानी जिस दिन geology होगा उसके immediate next day पे chemistry होगा. then A, mathematician, will demonstrate either on second or last day. C, will demonstrate on the third, physics on the fifth. E, zoologist on second, and B, demonstrated on Monday, rest is after F. Now guys, ये आप रेगुलर टेबल से तो कर सकते हो, where you make the entire common thing and दोनों साइड पे अलग अलग करो. But I'll show you a shorter method of doing it. Whenever you have to prepare a schedule where it is based on days of the week or months of the year or consecutive hours, we know that the list of days, months on hours is always fixed, right? वो कभी random नहीं होता है. So instead of making a big table of 6 scientists, 6 days, 6 subjects, you can make a simple table where you only put down the days of the week first, right? You know that demonstration starts from Monday. So एक timetable ऐसा बनाओ, starting from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, right? Because days of the weeks तो fixed हैं, तो Monday, और कहा है कि demonstration starts from Monday, so Monday से लेके Sunday तक का एक simple table बनाओ. इससे ज्यादा मुझे नहीं चाहिए. क्यों? Because I can now fix the professor and I can fix the subject very easily. Now, let's see how we can fill this table. It says chemistry will immediately follow geology. तो जहां पे भी जियोलॉजी होगा उसके अगले दिन इमीडिएटली केमिस्ट्री होगा. अब इसको टेबल के अंदर कहां पे रखना है वो मुझे नहीं पता, बट इतना पता है कि जहां पे भी जियोलॉजी होगा उसके अगले दिन केमिस्ट्री आ जाएगा. सो एज ऑफ नाउ तो मैं इसको बाहर रखता हूं. नाउ सेकंड, इट सेज ए हु इज अ मैथमेटिशियन विल डेमोन्स्ट्रेट आइदर ऑन द सेकंड और ऑन द लास्ट डे. अब मंडे से स्टार्ट होता है, सो मंडे इज डे 1, ट्यूसडे इज 2, Wednesday 3, 4, 5, 6, and last 5, 6, and Wednesday, Sunday is last day 7. So A maths है वो तो पक्का है. A will either demonstrate on the second day or A will demonstrate on the last day. And जो भी A है उस दिन maths होगा, right? A के साथ maths डालना है वो भी पक्का है. So as of now A को Tuesday या Sunday दोनों में से कोई एक डे दे सकता हूं. Now the third clue says C will demonstrate on the third day. तो C का तो पक्का है कि वो थर्ड डे पे है. एंड फिजिक्स विल बी ऑन द फिफ्थ डे. तो फिजिक्स का भी पक्का हो गया कि वो तो फ्राइडे को है. नाउ E zoologist demonstrates on the second day. तो सेकेंड डे ट्यूसडे है, उस दिन E है zoology. तो अगर E का पक्का हो गया तो A तो यहां पे नहीं दिखा सकता. दैट मीन्स अभी ए का भी पक्का हो गया कि ए डेफिनेटली लास्ट डे को है, एंड ए का सब्जेक्ट अपने को पता है मैथ्स. सो ए विथ मैथ्स इज पक्का ऑन संडे. नेक्स्ट इट सेज बी हैज डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड ऑन मंडे, सो बी को मंडे डाल दो. द रेस्ट डे विल बी इमीडिएटली आफ्टर एफ. नाउ गाइज पे वेरी क्लोज अटेंशन, ये थोड़ा आपको ध्यान देना पड़ेगा. इट सेज कि F जिस दिन भी होगा उसके अगले दिन रेस्ट होगा. रेस्ट मींस नो सब्जेक्ट. तो अभी पहले F को कहां पे फिट करेंगे? अगर मैं F को थर्सडे पे डालता हूं तो उसके अगले दिन रेस्ट नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि फिजिक्स है. F को अगर फ्राइडे डालता हूं तो सैटरडे को रेस्ट डाल सकता हूं. F को अगर सैटरडे डाल देता हूं तो संडे को रेस्ट नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि मैथ्स है. सो आई हैव एलिमिनेटेड थर्सडे एंड सैटरडे. So F can only show his subject on Friday, which means the rest day should be the next day, which is Saturday, right? ये पक्का हो गया. तो एक ही अभी बंदा बाकी है, and that is D for Delhi. So Thursday को by default Delhi fix हो गया. अब subjects क्या बचे? ध्यान से देखो. जियोलॉजी के बाद केमिस्ट्री इमीडिएटली होना चाहिए. जियोलॉजी अगर मंडे को डालूंगा तो ट्यूसडे को केमिस्ट्री नहीं आ सकता. वेनेसडे को जियोलॉजी डालो, थर्सडे को केमिस्ट्री फिट हो जाएगा. थर्सडे को अगर जियोलॉजी डालोगे तो फ्राइडे में नहीं आ सकता. सो जियोलॉजी एंड केमिस्ट्री के लिए मुझे पक्का वाला स्लॉट मिल गया. तो जो सब्जेक्ट बचा वो मंडे. कौन सा सब्जेक्ट बचा? बॉटनी. तो बॉटनी इज ऑन मंडे एंड दैट कंप्लीट्स माय टेबल. तो समझ में आ गया? ऐसा कोई भी शेड्यूलिंग वाला जब प्रॉब्लम होता है वेयर यू हैव टू अरेंज द डेज ऑफ द वीक, तो डेज का स्लॉट बना दो. तो बड़ा टेबल नहीं बनेगा, ऐसे छोटे टेबल में ही आपका आंसर आ जाएगा. Did everybody understand this particular thing? पक्का सबको समझ में आया ये वाला? तो सी, अगर आप रेगुलर वाले मेथड से भी कर सकते हो, अगर आपको चाहिए तो आप बड़ा वाला भी कर सकते हो, लेकिन इतना बड़ा टेबल बनाओगे, टाइम वेस्ट करोगे। उससे अच्छा अगर शेड्यूलिंग का प्रॉब्लम है, जहां पे आपको शेड्यूल बनाना है, डेज ऑफ द वीक, मंथ्स ऑफ द ईयर, लेक्चर्स में अरेंज पीरियड्स, टाइम टेबल बनाना है, तो ऐसे छोटे टेबल से आपका काम हो जाएगा। एक्सप्लेन दिस वंस अगेन, अमनबीर। ओके, I'm going to do it, but pay attention. I'm going to do it very quickly, right? So my days of the week are given: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Chemistry will immediately follow geology. तो जहां पे geology है, उसके अगले दिन chemistry होगा। कहां पे पता नहीं। A, who is a mathematician, will demonstrate on second or last. So A is either second or last. C will demonstrate on the third day. So C will demonstrate on the third day, and physics on the fifth day. So physics on the fifth day. E, a zoologist on the second day. So E is a zoologist on the second day. So A यहाँ पे निकल गया. That means A is pakka here. A was maths, it was given, and E is a zoologist. B on Monday. B on Monday. Now, rest day will be after F. So F अगर थर्सडे को है तो फ्राइडे को रेस्ट नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि फिजिक्स है। F अगर सैटरडे को है तो संडे को रेस्ट नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि मैथ्स है। सो F पक्का फ्राइडे को, दैट मीन्स सैटरडे इज द रेस्ट डे। सो द ओनली पर्सन लेफ्ट इज डी। जियोलॉजी एंड केमिस्ट्री को साथ साथ में सिर्फ मैं यहीं पे फिट कर सकता हूं। सो जियोलॉजी एंड केमिस्ट्री, रिमेनिंग सब्जेक्ट बॉटनी, द ओनली स्लॉट लेफ्ट मंडे, माय टेबल इज कंप्लीट। Amanbir, did you get this? Okay. Chalo then, quickly moving on. Next one. Now this pretty interesting thing. Let's see who gets this quickly. 4 people given. 2 are interested in hockey, 2 in cricket, 2 painters, 1 singer, 1 dancer. Each person has 1 outdoor interest, 1 hobby with fine arts. That means hockey, cricket are outdoors, painting, singing, dancing are all indoor fine arts. So given the 4 clues, can you complete this table? Let's see who gets this quickly. Okay, Swayam says done. What about the others? Siddhant is also done. Okay, good, good, good. What about the others? Okay, Anmol also has done it. Very good. What about the others, guys? Yeah, Qaish, I will show it. Qaish, I solve every example. Don't worry. Till now ऐसा कोई भी example नहीं है जो मैंने solve नहीं किया है. Okay. So here it is given that there are 4 persons, right? They are interested in different sports and they are interested in different financial activities. So I'm going to make a table, right? There are 4 people. Who are my 4 people? Arun, Bharat, Chandu, Dharma. Bada convenient naam hai. A, B, C, and D. 2 of them are interested in hockey. So 2 people are interested in hockey, and 2 of them are interested in cricket. So 2 cricket. Similarly, 2 of them are painters. So 2 painters. One is a singer and one is a dancer, right? So I can make a table like this. Now, it says that Arun is not a painter. So Arun is not a painter, nor does he play hockey. So if Arun does not play hockey, then Arun plays cricket. और एक ही cricket एक ही slot में करूंगा, right? Because I'm going to individualize them. So Arun का मुझे एक slot मिल गया. So Arun is not a painter and Arun does not play hockey. That means Arun plays cricket. Now it says Bharat does not dance. So Bharat does not dance. Bharat को यहाँ पे eliminate कर दो. And it says the dancer plays hockey. So whoever is the dancer that plays hockey, let's now keep it for the time being. It says Bharat and Dharma do not play cricket. So if Bharat and Dharma, B and D, do not play cricket, which means Bharat and Dharma, they have to be playing hockey. So कि दोनों को एक hockey दे दो, right? So the other things get settled. So इतना तो मुझे मिल गया. It says the dancer plays hockey. अब हॉकी या तो भरत या तो धर्मा खेलते हैं, एंड भरत अगर डांस नहीं करता, द ओनली अदर पर्सन who is a hockey player is Dharma. That means Dharma has to be the person who is dancing. So ये ding 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 ये खत्म हो गया. So A का the only thing left is singing. So ये खत्म हो गया. ये दोनों तो सेम है, तो किसी एक को पेंटिंग दे दो, दूसरे को पेंटिंग दे दो, and my table gets complete. Did everybody get this one? I hope everybody understood this one. It does not matter, आंसर आना चाहिए. टेबल कोई भी होगा, आंसर आना चाहिए. Did everybody get this one? Yes. Excellent. So guys, we are done for the day. I'm going to send the ID password for the next class, Chandan sir's class. So if no doubts, you can log out from this session and you can join Chandan sir's session soon. You can log out from this session. No more doubts. Join Chandan sir's session. I'll be sending the ID password soon. So Anmol, and guys, homework is obviously you have to complete the puzzles wala chapter from the analytical reasoning book. Analytical reasoning ke book se puzzles wale chapter now you can do.